What will we do with this moment? How will we be remembered? Look at the opportunities before us.
This election really isn't about the left versus the right. It's about we the people choosing our government and the choice between freedom versus tyranny.
Nobody has a chronic disease burden like we have. Why are we allowing this to happen to our children? Ultimately, the only thing that will save our country is if we choose to love our kids more than we hate each other.
What is going on here is deeper than politics. It is deeply spiritual. We are being called to rise above the hatred and the fear and the evil.
We need to remember above and beyond that we must love our neighbors, that we must treat other people as we hope to be treated.
You want to be a rebel? You want to be a hippie? You want to stick it to the man? Show up on your college campus and try calling yourself a conservative.
America is going to reach heights that it has never seen before. The future is going to be amazing!
You want healthy children. Don't you want a president that's going to make America healthy again?
Come to you today as a former Democrat. I will be a first-time Trump voter tonight.
The people dreamed this country, and it's the people who are making America great again.
This is Fanfare with Barry Cunningham.
Congress is about to pass a bill that blows away your taxpayer money, but they made it over 1,500 pages long so you wouldn't read it. I did you a favor. I read it for you. It's supposed to be about keeping government operations open and providing disaster relief aid to hurricane victims, which I'm sympathetic to. If you read the bill carefully, it contains pay raises for members of Congress, and I'm not making this up, an expansion of their federal health benefits. It contains all kinds of special interests and pork funding, including opening up a new stadium in Washington, D.C. It renews the Global Engagement Center, which is a key node of the censorship industrial complex. And the worst part is, they didn't want you to know about any of it, and that's why they made this a last-minute jam job. The reason I'm co-heading DOGE is I think we need outsiders to bring actual accountability to Washington, D.C. So feel free to call your congressman and let him know how you feel about it.
For the life of me, I cannot figure out what the hell is going on. None of this makes any sense whatsoever. Well, is this why the drones are flying around, to keep people's eyes off of what the rhinos were going to do? I have no idea. It doesn't make any sense. It is completely contrary to everything that the majority of the American people voted for. It's like they completely ignored November 5th. It never happened. It's a mirage, some sort of illusion. They think we're all kidding. This makes absolutely no sense. So we're going to dig into this today. I'm not sure if I'll have time for the top 10 or the bottom 10, whatever you want to call it, because I have so much to go over. And I'm pretty sure if you haven't heard a lot of this, what you're going to hear today is going to absolutely, for no uncertain words, piss you off. It has to piss you off. It has to compel you to get on the phone. Call your congressman, call your senator, flood it. Text them, email them, tweet at them, post at them, whatever you want to call it. This doesn't make any sense what they're trying to do. Unless it does make sense, because in essence, what I've read thus far and what you're going to see is a recipe to basically neuter Donald Trump. It is a recipe to basically kill off MAGA. There is nothing that makes any sense with this bill and what they're trying to put on America. They dumped a 1,500-page bill that obviously had to have been in the works for weeks, if not months. This all, you just don't sit down at the word processor and type up 1,500 pages. They have obviously been talking to consultants and lobbyists and different people in Congress and senators and came up with this huge steaming pile of poopy crap and said, yeah, this is what we're going to do. And all of this, I know Trump's not in office, so he doesn't really have the vote on this, but he's not making, again, this is very weird. He's not making any statements. Nothing. I checked, I keep refreshing, maybe most of the stuff that he ends up putting out is late at night because he might be the type of guy I am and like to see what everybody else is seeing first. But he hasn't posted anything in 4 hours. So it's 3 o'clock here. So since about 11 o'clock, Trump hasn't posted anything. And the only things he's posted are just links to articles talking about what he's going to do. Well, I'm telling you what, if they pass this, you ain't going to do much. If they pass this, Vivek and Elon aren't going to do much. This is a poison pill like this big, and they're jamming it down the American people's throats. I almost have to wonder, seeing that Trump's not saying anything, and he's letting these people expose themselves. This may seem Q-ish, this may seem completely conspiratorial, but has our government already been conquered? Are we already under the guise and leadership of a foreign power? You see, you have to wonder with what Biden has done for the last 4 years and everything that's happened. And here we are on the precipice of Trump taking office on January 20th, and this crap gets put out there? Did they know? Did they hatch the plan? Was the plan, hey, listen, let's see who votes for this crap so we know who's compromised? Because in order for you to swallow this crap, you have to be compromised. There is no other alternative. You cannot be thinking that this is good for the American people. The only thinking you could have right now is, I got to save my butt. Trump's coming in 30 days, and all this stuff is going to get found out. So let's go ahead and neuter him right now. Let's just clip his nuts and make sure he can't do anything to us. And then we'll just survive the next 4 years, and then hopefully it'll be business as usual. That's what I'm beginning to think. I'm beginning to think that we have a government in place in America right now that is compromised. That the people at the top are, there is no way any of the senators and Congress people wrote this thing. Who wrote it? Who put this thing together? You ever notice that they never say who the people are who write these things? They just show up. Here's 1,500 pages of crap and you guys need to deal with it. Who wrote it? Put your name on it. Step up in front of a microphone somewhere and say, I wrote it. And who the hell are you? Because you're not one of the senators or the congressional people. Who wrote this thing? Where did it come from? Somebody needs to do some computer forensics and find out who are the authors of this crap. Because this kind of stuff, it does make you feel as though we're living in an alternative universe. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to play a bunch of videos. We're going to watch these videos, and we're going to talk about some of these people and the way certain people are responding. You may start thinking to yourself as well, I'm not asking you to put on a tinfoil hat, but at some point we still have to wonder, who's doing this? Remember Mike Johnson. Oh yeah, I'm buddy. I'm on the airplane. Yeah, I'm eating McDonald's with Trump. Yeah, I'm looking badass. I'm walking through the UFC fight with, Dana White and Trump. I'm one of the boys. I'm one of the Avengers. I'm a little Avenger. And then you do this? Remember, that UFC fight wasn't too long ago. and Mike Johnson got to go. We're watching him like, oh, that's odd. Why is Mike Johnson there? Why is Mike Johnson hanging out with Trump? So you're telling me this guy hung out with Trump, was elbow to elbow with him, pictures on Trump Force One, hanging out with Kid Rock, Dana White, Dan Bongino, a whole bunch of people. Elon, Vivek, they're all there. J.D. Vance goes to the Army-Navy game right there in the booth with him. And the whole time you're in the Army-Navy game, in the big sky booth, the corporate booth, drinking beers with the boys, you had it in your mind the whole time, you know what, I'm going to screw you guys next week, but you don't know it. Is that what you thought you were going to get away with? Or is this some kind of master plan? It's like a paper drone. It's there sniffing out. Is it setting it around Washington in this paper drone? Sniff out rhinos? Because this don't make any sense. I'm sorry. Listen to this.
We don't have a choice. We have to fund those. We have to fund FEMA. We have to fund our farmers.
Right. And Mr. Speaker, it's not just, so you've got a bunch of Republicans who are angry at you. They don't like this. And just in a couple of weeks, you're going to stand once again to run for Speaker of the House. And you don't need a bunch of Democrats mad at you. But and this is breaking news you do not know. You know who also does not like this? Elon Musk, the world's richest man, just tweeted, this bill should not pass. The only way you're going to be able to pass it now, Mr. Speaker, is with Democrats. If you could.
The only way you're going to be able to pass this junk is by having Democrats happy. So you got to make them happy in order to pass this thing on the American people. You're bypassing Republicans completely to shove this stuff down people's throats. Seriously?
What's your message to Elon Musk?
Well, I was communicating with Elon last night. Elon and Vivek and I are on a text chain together, and I was explaining to them the background of this. And Vivek and I talked last night about almost midnight, and he said, look, I get it. He said, we understand you're in an impossible position. Everybody knows that. Remember, guys, we still have just a razor-thin margin of Republicans, so any bill has to have Democrat votes. They understand the situation. They said, it's not directed to you, Mr. Speaker, but we don't like the spending. I said, guess what, fellas? I don't either.
So don't do it. Sorry about that. Don't do it. It's that simple. If you don't like the spending and we don't like the spending, not sure how Trump likes it, simply don't do it. Shut it down. Why are you forcing this?
We got to get this done because here's the key. By doing this, we are clearing the decks and we are setting up for Trump to come in roaring back with the America First agenda. That's what we're going to run with gusto beginning January 3rd when we start.
All right, so now, Mike Johnson, I don't know you, but I'm going to have to say something to you. With what I'm going to show people watching today, I would look you in the face, dead eye, man to man, and call you a flipping liar. And with what people have uncovered in this 1,500-page garbage dump is stuff that has nothing to do with what you just said. You could have came up with a bill with like 3 or 4 pages. We're going to pay for this, we're going to pay for this, and we're going to pay for this. And this had like 10 items. Not all the wheretofore, Section 5, 6, 7. No. We're going to pay for Social Security. We're going to pay for defense, the soldiers, whatever. We're going to pay for FEMA. Well, I wouldn't even give it to FEMA, but you know what I mean, for disaster relief. And then had like 10 or 12 items, and that's it. But you just lied on television. And now, unfortunately for you, everybody knows you lied on television. You went out there, addressed the American people as the Speaker of the House of the United States government, and you lied. And now we all know you lied.
Congress when Republicans, again, are in control. And all of our fiscal conservative friends, I'm one of them, will be able to finally do the things that we've been wanting to do for the last couple of years. Right now, Democrats still control the pens, and that's the problem. So we got to get this thing done so we don't have the shutdown, so we get the short-term funding measure, and we get to March where we can put our fingerprints on the spending. That's when the big changes start, and we can't wait to get there.
Right.
But overall, with the CO.
He's lying. If you just needed to fund the government, then why did you have all the stuff that I'm going to show everybody today? Who's got you bent over a desk or pictures of you with little kids or something? Nothing makes any sense with what you say. I have to call you a liar because you didn't even tell the people on the stage there who were with Fox News. You didn't even tell them the truth. Unless, of course, you don't know either, which just makes you incompetent. Are you just finding out today like, oh, they stuck all this stuff in here? What did you think they put in these 1,500 pages, Mike? And you knew this was coming. This was something you said.
As our leader just noted, we have broken the Christmas Omni, and I have no intention of going back to that terrible tradition. So there won't be a Christmas omnibus. As somebody asked me in the hallway a little while ago, will there be many buses? We don't want any buses. We're not going to do any buses, okay? And we got to get through this. So look, everybody understands the necessity. It is not palatable. This is the sausage-making part of legislation that nobody likes, but we're governing, and we'll pick it up in January and start a brand new day for America.
That first cut was in September. Oh, we're never going to do it again. That's not going to happen. Nope, we're not like that. And then the other one was from yesterday, which he also didn't tell anybody what was going on. So we're going to come back to that, but I just want to show you some of the stuff that people have been saying and what they've been uncovering. First and foremost, let's look at what Vivek has uncovered. A continuing resolution, which he puts in quotation marks because it's BS, whose purpose is supposedly to keep the government open, is 1,500 pages long and full of indefensible baggage. 72 pages worth of pandemic preparedness and response policy. That's interesting. Why do we need a pandemic preparedness and response policy to keep the government running until March or January? Why is that even in there? What is being planned that's just a necessity? We gotta have that. Renewal of the Global Engagement Center, which is a key player in federal censorship. You're giving the Democrats and you're funding their ability to censor Americans. And you think that's only for 30 days until Trump gets in. Nope, wrong. Once you fund that organization called the Global Engagement Center, they are then funded until at least March. Pretty sure Trump is supposed to be inaugurated on January 20th, and so between today or whenever you approve this crap until March, they can pretty much start censoring Americans again. 17 different pieces of commerce legislation, and this one I love, facilitating a new football stadium in D.C. Okay, hold on. Tell me how it's a necessity that the Washington Commanders, which I still call the Redskins, need to have a new stadium addressed now, going into the end of the season, for a stadium that won't need to be built for a couple years. But it's emergency. We have to get it done now, right? Why? Why do the American people need to pay for a football stadium? Obviously, they're already playing the NFL games. Oh, it gets worse, though. A pay raise for congressmen and senators. I'm going to go into that. But it's a huge pay raise, like 40%. Giving Congress people eligibility for federal employee health benefits. He must have wrote this before he really got deep into it. Because as you get into this, you're going to go, oh, no, you can't believe all this stuff. Yes, I'm skeptical of most of these policies, but the deeper point is they shouldn't be rammed through a CR artificial holiday backstop deadline. This is how Americans lose trust in government. No, Vivek, that's not how Americans lose trust. Americans lost trust quite some time ago. We were hoping Trump could reestablish trust. Trust left probably 8-9 years ago. There's a lot they're going to have to do to earn the trust of the American people. So let's continue with what Vivek says. I wanted to read the full 1,500 pages and speak with key leaders before forming an opinion. Having done that, here's my full view. It's excessive spending, special interest giveaways, pork barrel politics. If Congress wants to get serious about government efficiency, they should vote no. Keeping the government open until March 14th will cost $380 billion by itself. But the true cost of this omnibus is far greater due to the new spending, renewing the farm bill for an extra year, $130 billion. Disaster relief, $100 billion. Stimulus for farmers, $10 billion. Get this one, where most of you probably will never, ever traverse. The Francis Scott Key Bridge. Remember the bridge up outside of Baltimore where the ship ran into it and busted it all up and they got to rebuild it? It's going to cost you $8 billion. The people of Maryland are getting an $8 billion new bridge paid for by you. Didn't they have insurance? Don't they have state dollars? Didn't the ship, the company that ran into it, don't they have any money? I'm sure they had to have insurance. They wouldn't be out there going around the ocean. But no, $8 billion is what you're going to pay. The proposal adds at least 65 cents of new spending for every dollar of continued discretionary spending. This legislation will end up hurting many of the people it purports to help. Debt-fueled spending sprees may feel good today, but it's like showering cocaine on an addict. It's not compassion, it's cruelty. The farmers will see more land sold to foreign buyers when taxes inevitably rise to meet our obligations. So it's going to hurt the farmers long term. Our children will be saddled with crippling debt. Interest payments will be the largest item in our national budget. Stop me if you've heard this before. How many times do we have to be told our children are going to be saddled with debt? How many times have you heard that we're basically just paying interest on this big giant credit card? We're never addressing the fact that we can't afford anything this country wants to do. Everything at this point is now being borrowed, financed, China, and then we just pay the interest on it. Meanwhile, what kind of servitude, what kind of good servants are these people with your money when you know you can't afford something, when you're borrowing every dime, when you owe China, and all you can do is pay the VIG? Congress has, and this is a good one, Congress has known about this deadline since they created it in late September. There's no reason why this couldn't have gone through the standard process instead of being rushed to a vote right before congressmen want to go home for the holidays. The urgency is 100% manufactured and designed to avoid serious public debate. Stop me if you heard that one before. Vivek isn't breaking any news there. Every time one of these things happens, it's always like, oh my God, what are we going to do? The government's going to shut down. Oh no. It's always like that. Every single time. They know it's coming. You can see it up there in the future. It's coming. And they don't do anything but wait until the end, right before it's supposed to stop. And then it just blows up. Just completely blows up. The bill could have easily been under 20 pages. Instead, there are dozens of unrelated policy items crammed into 1,500 plus pages of this bill. There's no legitimate reason for them to be voted on as a package deal by a lame duck Congress. 72 pages worth of pandemic preparedness and response. All this stuff. A pay raise, and he's not even getting into the good stuff. He may not have actually gone through everything. He might have just got pissed off, because there's some more stuff I'm going to show you that's going to blow your socks off. I mean, absolutely just go, whoa, pump the brakes. We're grateful for Doge's warm reception on Capitol here. Nearly everyone agrees we need a smaller and more streamlined federal government. No, not nearly everyone agrees. They smiled at you, they ate the hors d'oeuvres, they shook your hand, and lied to your face. You are being treated like Trump was being treated back in 2020. 2016. You're being lied to. You're being Washingtonized. They are bamboozling you. Hell yeah, how you doing, Vivek? Yeah, you're a great dude, man. Love what you and Elon are thinking about doing. We've needed this for so long. Now get the hell out of here so we can keep doing what we're doing. Just like 2016. You're a greenhorn. You're a rookie. You think you know how Washington works. We know how it works. Swamp gonna be swamping. And so we shake hands and lie to people all day long. It's what we do. It's our business. So no, not everyone agrees. They're just telling you what you want to hear. This is something that is indicative of the fact that these guys, when I say these guys, Vivek and Elon, they got caught with their pants down here. The Washington two-stepped all over them. And I love me some Elon and Vivek. And I think they thought people were being genuine when all these people were doing was lying to their face. Just straight up lying. Let's continue.
Merry Christmas, American taxpayer. We're going to buy you a Corvette. Now, you can't pay for it for 100 years, but we're going to buy you a Corvette. It's absolutely ridiculous of what we're doing here. We should get a clean CR. Mike Johnson promised that. The two things that we really need, though, is we need help for American farmer because the farm bill has been kicked down the road for 2 years. Maria, we're going to lose 50,000 farms in the next probably 6 months, 50,000 more, and we lost 150,000 in the last 3 or 4 years. And then, of course, the disaster aid for North Carolina, the Biden administration.
Guess who's buying those farms? Probably the same people who wrote this bill. Something ain't right.
Absolutely has dropped the ball on this, but to go out and building stadiums in D.C., hell, they can't even cut the grass in the medians up here. It's a disaster.
Unbelievable.
This was the conservative play call. We don't normally like what's called a continuing resolution, a CR, but in this case it makes sense because if we push it into the first quarter of next year, then we have a Republican-controlled Congress and President Donald J. Trump back in the White House will be able to have more say over the funding decisions for 2025. Now, that would have been
As he's talking here, listen to see if he starts talking about the stuff I'm going to show you. Well, since I've seen it, pretty much I can tell you, no. He's going to continue with this lie.
Easier thing to do. But then we had circumstances outside of our control. We had these emergencies that are required. So we had, as you know, a record hurricane season. We had Helene and Milton, and they just...
Is a football stadium an emergency? Do you know if there's another pandemic or something coming? Because why are those emergencies?
Did massive destruction across our red states, frankly, in the southeast and the eastern side of the country. And then we've had farmers who are in jeopardy of permanently going under. They've had 3 lost years in a row because of Bidenomics and inflation and other circumstances outside of their control. And so when you cobble those two things together, there's a desperate need for that aid, and that's what adds another $100+ billion to the bill, and that's why everybody's uncomfortable with it. I am too. We have a massive deficit and debt problem, of course, in this country. We can begin to address that and shrink the size and scope of government in January with Republican control, but we've got to bridge the gap to get there, and we cannot leave our small farms and ranchers and our people who are devastated by the hurricanes out in the meantime. So that's the difficult part about this. That's what people are really struggling with, and I am too, but we have a responsibility here, and that's legislating.
The House of Representatives.
Okay. I let that play. I didn't interject like I usually do because I wanted you to see how badly he was lying. It's really bad. He's talking about the farmers and the people in Appalachia because he wants to pull on heartstrings. You see, that's the whole idea here. Is if we lead with the farmers, if we lead with, the hurricanes, we lead with that, it touches people's heart and it sounds awesome. Of course we want to take care of the people. Finally, you decide you want to take care of the people in Appalachia. Of course we want to make sure that farmers are taken care of. There's no doubt. What about this other stuff, Mike? I've showed you 3 or 4 pieces so far with him talking to different people in the press, and he's not mentioned any of the other crap. It's like he doesn't want you to know the other crap. You see, that stuff is going to play well on TV, whether it's on Fox or he runs to CNN or MSNBC, and he talks about the farmers and the people in Appalachia, and, you know, we got to help the disaster. No credible person who is a real Speaker of the House could look people in the eye and lie that badly. He is not credible unless he's playing a game. I don't know, but something doesn't make sense. Let me show you this. Elon's starting to realize it. The more I learn, the more obvious it becomes that this spending bill is a crime. It even includes funding for the worst illegal censorship operation in the entire government. Funny, Mike Johnson didn't even mention that. Not once. But now let me go back to Charlie, then we're going to come back. I'm going to freak you out. Literally going to freak you out.
Yesterday, House of Representatives rushed a 1,500-page spending bill. Nobody has read, and nobody understands. You know, something I really want clarity on is the logistics of this. Who wrote this, and who has been writing this? I want to meet that human being. In what office are they housed?
It's not a human being. You know, it's a cabal. It's a group of people behind the scenes, deep state, if you want to say, who have been working on this thing for months. They knew, hell yeah, on Friday, December, whatever, this thing's going to expire and we're going to need more money. We're going to need more money. You've been spending it like it's candy, but we're going to need more. We're going to run out. Okay, so let's start writing it now, and then we're going to hand it to somebody. And then we're going to have Mike, Johnson, who I'm sure did not read 1,500 pages, and we're going to tell him, this is it, this is what we're going to do, and you're going to do it. And Charlie's absolutely right. Who writes this crap? I want to know not the author, the authors. How many of them got together in some office, in some room, in some executive suite somewhere and said, here's how we're going to make the American people bend over and take it. And we're not even going to, we don't care if they smile.
I mean, 1,500 pages. I mean, Blake helped with Right Wing Revolution. I mean, that's 1,500 pages is a lot. That's a lot of writing. Who's doing this? Are they using AI? I think they're using Copilot or ChatGPT. Here's the other question. Did ChatGPT write the continuing resolution? The continuing resolution includes $100 billion in disaster relief and FEMA funding. It includes a random revision to laws governing pharmacy benefit managers. Now, maybe it's a good law, maybe it's not, but they're folding a massive spending bill instead of debating all of these things directly. And again, I cannot reiterate this enough. If you are a member of Congress and you are just trying to go home for Christmas while bankrupting future generations with trillions of dollars of unnecessary spending, that is a bad reason. Okay, do a 1 week CR. Do a 1 week CR. Do a 1 week CR and then keep on debating. So that's what CRs were designed in the first place. CRs were always designed.
But you know what the problem with that is? Why do we even have CRs? Continuing resolutions. You have a year or more to fix it. And ever since, we've been involved in politics, we keep seeing this stuff happen all the time. You guys can't get your crap together. We can't run our households the way you people run the government. You just can't keep saying, I don't want to deal with this right now. Just, can you get me something just to get me through the next couple of months? And then the next couple of months in March, we got to do it again. Instead of somebody with the cojones, hopefully Trump, said, we're done. I am not negotiating a continuing resolution. We are completely done. It's over. We're shutting the doors. This business has failed. This business has gone bankrupt. Until you guys can figure out a way to make it not bankrupt, we're done. I don't care if it's Trump. I don't care if it's J.D. Vance. At some point, you owe it to the American people to say, we're done. Over. Kaput. You're not getting paid. You're not getting paid. Nobody's getting paid except for soldiers who have to defend us and people who have to watch the, air traffic control and, necessary people. The rest of you are done. Go blame your senators. Go blame your congressmen and congresswomen. It's over. Trump is a businessman. Vivek is a businessman. Elon is a businessman. They know what it needs at this point. Any of you who run your own businesses, you can't tell the bank, can I get a continuing resolution? Okay, so what you're telling me is you like to have some sort of modification. Yeah. So what are you going to do different? How are you going to pay me back? Well, I'm going to sell off this and I'm going to sell off that and I'm going to cut back. And you come up with a plan. But these people don't have any plan. They're not looking to cut anything. They're just looking to kick it down the road and continue doing what they've been doing. It's literally, and I got a new puppy, it's literally rewarding bad behavior. Raising a child or raising a puppy, if the puppy poops on the floor, you don't reward that bad behavior. You spank that, you know what. And then you put them outside and say, here's the paper, go do your business on the paper. You're not allowed back in until, we can see some progress here. And we're seeing this happen with our government. It's disgusting, and we all wait and we vote and we run to the polls. It's going to be different this time. And everybody in Washington goes, no, you don't get it. We're not going to change anything.
To give you an extra week to allow negotiations to keep going, for 2 weeks. The CR includes that the federal government must pay 100% of rebuilding the cost of the Francis Scott Key Bridge, which collapsed. Obviously, a ship collided with it in Maryland. The bill gives control of the land containing the RFK Stadium in D.C. back to D.C. itself. Why is that part of emergency spending bill? I don't know. Oh, and also, just to kind of stick the knife in and twist it, this is the one that bothers me the most. It raises Congress's pay to $243,000 a year.
That's not the one that gets me the most. No, the one that gets me the most is the one I'm going to show you after he's done talking. See, these people slip something even more sinister than a raise. More sinister than paying for this Francis Scott Key Bridge that we don't own. More sinister than a football stadium that we don't get to go to. Oh no, those were just breadcrumbs on the way to the big grift. The big reason they're passing this thing. Charlie didn't mention the censorship.
It went up from $174,000 a year to $243,000 a year. How many of you right now would love a pay increase of that magnitude? Would love a $70,000 pay increase? That's a big pay increase. $174,000 to $243,000. Chip Roy has called this a crap sandwich. Eric Burleson says it's a dumpster fire.
I believe the math will come out that that's about a 40% raise. Yeah. Overnight. They'll get 100% people voting for that. That's, oh yeah. Yay. Give me 240 grand, please, of your money. But that's not the worst part. You see, what they've done in this bill on page 905 or 605, section 14-A6, is basically walk Kash Patel and Pam Bondi and Trump into the veterinarian office and completely neuter them. How so? Well, watch this. So the House is going to vote to protect itself from glaring and obvious wrongdoing. The American people didn't vote for this. They voted for the opposite. They voted for transparency. This cannot pass, says Donald Trump Jr. What is it? Motion to quash or modify. Okay, so this gets a little bit with the here to's and where to fors, but let me just break it down for you, and then I've got a video that's going to further break it down for you. Upon a motion made promptly by a House office or provider for a House office, a court of competent jurisdiction shall quash or modify any legal process directed to the provider for a House office if compliance with the legal process would require the disclosure of House data of the House office. Now, I'm pretty sure you listen to that and like, what the hell is all that mean? Well, here's what it means. What it means, and I'm looking, SV is texting me here. He said people are saying you don't hit puppies. You really think I hit my puppy? That little beautiful 3.5-pound Maltese? Of course not. Sometimes you people crack me up. I just making jokes. Anyway, let's go. So here's what this means. This means that if for some reason Google, X, a grand jury, Department of Justice decides that they'd like to subpoena the emails and information on any person in the House, any, they don't have to give it. It gets quashed. It gets eliminated. Nope. This new CR, which is supposedly for emergency funding, has something else of an emergency hidden way down that Mike Johnson didn't mention. Didn't mention at all that they get a get out of jail free card. We're not giving you any information. You just approved this CR, and in this CR it says you get butt kiss. You get nothing. Why didn't Mike Johnson say that? Watch this video. This guy breaks it down perfectly.
Okay, guys, I got to show you something here. I'm going through the continuing resolution, the table of contents. I'm just looking for anything that sticks out as not having to do with funding. Okay, and I came across this in section 605, Title 6, treatment of electronic services provided for House offices. Thought it was a little weird, so I went and looked at it. We're going to go through this real quick. They're talking about this Office of the Chief of Administrative Officer. They're giving some definitions here, what electronic communication services are, what House data is, and House data is with respect to a House office, any electronic mail, emails, other electronic or data communication, other data in general, including metadata, or other information of the House office. Very broad, pretty much anything that is produced by what is called a House office. And then they define the term House office, which is any employing office whose salaries or expenses are dispersed by the Office of the Chief Administrative Officer. Never even heard of this position before, but I went and looked. Right now, this lady, Catherine Zippendor, she's in charge of it, and they are charged with carrying out all the administrative functions of the House, including human resources, information resources, payroll, etc. So I'm pretty sure...
So just so you know, this woman and her department and her employees, they basically handle the administrative aspect of the House. All payroll, all terminations, all this kind of stuff, probably credit card reconciliation, all that stuff she handles. Her office handles it. And so they put in a clause in this document that says any and all stuff that she handles, you can't have. Any and all. Electronics, emails, request, anything. Anything having to do with the House that's electronically transferred. Payroll, everything. You can't see it. Everything.
Of like the House, the payroll comes from here. So right off the bat, this section of this continuing resolution, is very broad. Pretty much anything that any electronic data or data in general that comes out of the House is pretty much covered by this section of this bill, okay? So I'm going to go down, and they go through like retaining possession, even though, you know, the chief administrative officer might have the data in her possession or it goes through her servers or something. It's still technically owned by the House members, okay? This is where it's crazy. Notwithstanding any other provision of law or rule of civil or criminal procedure, the office of the CAO or anybody in there shall not be barred through operation of any court order or any statutory provision from notifying the House office of any legal process seeking disclosure of House data of the House office that is transmitted, processed, stored, whatever. Okay, so what this is saying is, let's say what's her name again? Catherine. Let's say Catherine gets a grand jury subpoena about we'll make up a hypothetical Congress member named Schmancy Colosi. And she gets the grand jury subpoena for all of Schmancy's emails because maybe they believe there's a crime that was committed or something. Who knows? Because of this bill, Catherine is going to have to notify Schmancy immediately that somebody is looking in and trying to get her data, her House data, okay? That's part one. Part two in this, it says, motions to quash or modify. Upon a motion made promptly by a House office or provider for a House office, a court of competent jurisdiction shall quash or modify any legal process directed to the provider for a House office if compliance with the legal process would require the disclosure of House data of the House office. So this allows any House member who gets their emails subpoenaed, let's just, again, hypothetically by a grand jury, to quash that subpoena. Pretty much no questions asked, it says here.
All right, so I see a comment here. It's kind of funny. It's like, English, please. Well, the reason why they don't put it in English and it's in legalese is to do exactly what just happened with you. Lori, you are an American, and they don't want you to know what is exactly going on. So just to let you know, and this is where it gets like really, really crazy. In layman's terms, without the heretofores, whatafores, modifications, XYZ, okay. Basically, if you get investigated, we don't have to give anybody any information. That's what they're saying. What do you mean? If a subpoena comes, and the subpoena says, I need, Mike Johnson's emails and information, what he's been doing, all the stuff that you've heard people say, preserve your documents. It's a legal term meaning, hey, listen, we're going to come looking, make sure you preserve it. You're telling Catherine and everybody else, preserve the documents. And so they've heard that. They understand that preserving documents is part of discovery. When a lawsuit or a criminal charge is filed, you have to start looking. And they just put up a firewall. They put up a firewall for Congress and said nobody can see what's behind here. We are exempt from the court. So any one of you who wants to explain to me how that's a pending financial emergency, please do so. Because in my estimation, that is the reason for this continuing resolution. They know Pam Bondi, they know Kash Patel, they are worried about what Trump's going to do, and they buried this in this document, way down on page 605, with a bunch of language that most lay people would never understand and may not even pay attention to. And it said, no dice. You cannot see anything we've been doing, and we can ignore the subpoena. Think they're afraid of Trump? Oh, yeah. But why did Mike Johnson not even bother addressing that? Why did Mike Johnson, when he went on television and he talked about all the different things that are in this bill, and it's going to help the farmer, it's going to help the people in Appalachia, it's going to help, this person and that person and the other person. Why did he not mention the fact that it was going to kill all subpoenas? Maybe he didn't even read it himself. It's so egregious at this point that you're saying to yourself, and I've seen a couple of people in here, how is this even legal? It'll be legal because they're passing a law. Now, of course, you'd have to then file to the Supreme Court and say it's unconstitutional, and by then Trump's not even in office. That's why I said what I said in terms of the title of this video. They are doing everything they possibly can to screw Trump and kill MAGA. That's a poison pill. It's done. Just so you know, everything we've been talking about, everything Trump's been talking about, everything that Kash Patel is talking about, they just put out a resolution that kills it all on the spot, dead, done. There will be no prosecutions. There won't even be any investigations. Hands off, you're done. I just want to make sure you understand that. This is supposed to keep the government afloat. It's we're running out of money and we got it. But what the hell is this for? Why is this an emergency? Tell me why this is an emergency that you want to put in here till at least March. It's a continuing resolution, so it's going to be in place till March. It's not until January 20th, like Mike Johnson said. This continuing resolution is a temporary fix until March of 2025. So you're saying 3 months into this, you're going to get to do what? Unbelievable.
That is insane. And then it goes on even further in the effective date section here. Any legal process seeking to...
Okay, so this is really important too. Again, finite law. So listen to what he says here in terms of the effective date of basically the blocking that they're going to be doing. Because you would think the effective date would be, the day it was approved, right?
Disclosure of House data of a House office that is filed, issued, or made on or after the date of enactment of this act. So anything, today moving forward, or anything that's pending on or after the date.
Even if it's already been filed, we're going to go back and say, hey, now that we got this new thing here, we don't have to comply.
Of the enactment of this act. So anything that was filed before and is a matter pending right now, they can quash it and make it disappear. Why is this in a spending bill? Make it make sense.
This is for everybody.
I can't. I can't, except to say that the rats are cornered and they've figured out a way to basically protect themselves. They attached it to this funding, and you've got Mike Johnson, who's out there limp-wristed saying, we got to do it, we have to do it. And I'm like, have you read this stuff? These are acts of communists. They're acts of communists, and they're acts of people who know they're in deep trouble. Deep trouble. This was something. This was never something we could vote our way out of. Nope. And it's both sides, obviously. It's both sides of the aisle. These people are so entrenched. There is no Democrat or Republican Party anymore. It's all one party, and they've all done. Just think about this. Think about this. What have these people done? We keep saying it over and over. What have these people done? Democrats and Republicans, that they're so terrified of people even finding out. Terrified. We're going to go back. We're going to create this thing. We know it's about financing, so we need to pay some bills. But in order to pay the bills, we're going to make sure we stick a whole bunch of other stuff in here to make sure that Trump and his henchmen can never come after us, or at least for not quite some time. Why would you even stick that in there? Why would every Republican right now just be going, nope, ain't gonna have it? Why is it coming out in drips and drabs? I think there's only 10 thus far who have come out publicly and said, we're not doing it. Why is it not 200? Nope, ain't happening. Well, the only reason why you wouldn't, actually there's two reasons. One, you don't know, and number two, you're involved. You got something to hide. That's it. They've been doing this stuff for decades, absolutely. so many Congress people will be arrested and sent to jail. See, now you're right there, because now if we ever get the ability to begin looking, you can pretty much at this point assume there are a lot of Republicans in trouble as well. That's how you have to deduce this at this point. If you haven't done anything, why would you care if you get a subpoena from, the Department of Justice or whoever? Why would that even bother you? I haven't done anything. Go ahead. Nobody's going to subpoena me. But you better go ahead and vote for this, because if you don't vote for it, let me just let you know we've planted pictures on your computer of you with little boys. This thing AI, but at least you're going to have to come out and address. I have no idea. A new House leader would stop the bill. Obviously, Mike is lying. I didn't have anything bad against the guy. I heard people say stuff, but either he's too stupid and didn't read it. That's his only saving grace. Mike, it's 4 o'clock on, Wednesday. By tomorrow morning, you need to come out and do a complete 180. Hey, I didn't read all this stuff. I trusted so-and-so to read it and tell me. We're telling you now. There's so much stuff in here that has nothing to do with basically keeping the government open. That one clause alone, Section 605, gives a complete force field to all the bad guys. If Trump has a Trump card, why doesn't he use it? I don't know. Like I said, maybe this is a paper drone and it's out there sniffing out the bad guys. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. As this guy said, it's flipping insane. Business as usual, people are saying. Yeah, it is business as usual. All right, so here, somebody broke this down. There are 2 provisions buried in the CR that Congress is trying to slip by. This may be why some people are, nodding they'll do it. A pay increase, which is probably, in essence, a bribe. A pay increase for members of Congress from $174,000 to $243,000 per year. Also, here's another one for you that we haven't discussed yet, which Mike Johnson also hasn't talked about. Ready for this one? It also allows members of Congress to receive an opt-out from being required to use Obamacare. Oh, I'm sorry. I got rules for thee, not for me. I'm about to get a $70,000 raise, up to $243,000, and I don't have to use this crappy Obamacare. The same Obamacare that they all will go on the news every single night and say it's the greatest thing since sliced bread, but we don't use it. That's for you. You guys use that crap. I ain't using no Obamacare. I got good doctors. CRBS. On the heels of the report that the DOJ obtained the emails of Schiff and Swalwell, proving that leaked classified documents to the media, Congress has inserted language into the continuing resolution allowing it to quash any subpoena Kash Patel or Pam Bondi might issue for House data. This would make any investigation into the J6 committee all but impossible. It would cripple any investigation as well into Schiff and Swalwell. And there, there's that same thing. Quash the subpoena. Hidden deep inside the 1,500-page CR includes a provision allowing the House, doesn't have to go to court, to quash any subpoena for emails, communications, and documents made by law enforcement, making investigation basically impossible. They're getting a complete get-out-of-jail-free card in this continuing resolution. I told you this stuff was going to piss you off today. It is more than the president. No, the president makes $400. Never trusted Mike Johnson. This was predicted by the 17th letter of the alphabet. Both Democrats and Republicans are running for cover. Interesting, Manny, isn't it? All that conspiratorial talk people said about that 17th letter guy. And it's funny how this is all coming out now, isn't it? Same side of the fence there. The Republicans and the Democrats, no different. And now they're all trying to cover for each other. And are you telling me, Mike Johnson, you did not know this clause was in here? You didn't know this poison pill of epic proportions that neuters Kash Patel and Pam Bondi, just completely eviscerates any prosecution of the J6ers. You're telling me you didn't know this was in here? Barry, and gives them Congress cover for future too. Yep, absolutely. These thinking people are not voted in to represent by not reading something they are voting for. Nope, they're just doing it. You guys are going to have to get on a phone. If it matters at this point. If it matters. Where we go one, we go all. Yeah, where do we find this 17th letter guy? I haven't been able to find it. I think I should probably do something on Rumble and talk to you guys about it. Trump is not being paid just like his first term. Yep, he refused to pay. If anyone is surprised by Johnson, you didn't see the signs. That's why I didn't agree with him. Man, we got to do something. Mike Johnson had to have known this. Had to have known this. If not, then you're incompetent. There's no other way. Either you knew and lied or you're incompetent. Either way, that's not good. You're smiling in Trump's face all the while looking to cut him out at the knees. That's exactly what you're doing. I love what Laura Loomer said here. Stop trying to be nice to these people. They keep screwing you over. You don't have a right to be complaining about the CR if you called for unity. This is what happens when you play ball with opportunistic frauds and liars in the GOP who have a record of being disloyal and a record of America last policies. Why are you so many of you desperate to be friends with GOP leadership? She's talking to other congressmen. Why do so many of you run cover for them time and time again? You deserve this if you called for unity with these depraved politicians. This is what you get. This is what your unity gets you. Disappointment, and failure. What she is basically saying is these people understand that many of us are Christian. Let me just pull something up for you. I've mentioned it, and I want to show it to you again. And as Christians, they know that we are a certain way. Let me see if I can pull this up. I want to... all right, I don't know if I can get in here because I'm not on Facebook anymore. But I want to show you Saul Alinsky's Rules for Radicals. And if you've ever read Saul Alinsky's Rules for Radicals, or if you haven't, I would encourage you to do so. It's not big. Where is, if I can find it? Okay, here we go. And where are they? All right. These are Saul Alinsky's Rules for Radicals. And Saul Alinsky, if you guys don't know him, is basically been a big proponent of the radical movement. Let me pull this up real quick. All right, so I've got this here. And I just want to show you guys this real quick. This is the Rules for Radicals. And it goes back to who Saul Alinsky is. It's a 1971 book by community activist and writer Saul Alinsky about how to successfully run a movement for change. He's basically a communist. And you can read this and go do your own research, but if you look at the rules, where is it? Let me find it. And I will push it and let me show it to you. Number 4. That one right there. Let me see if I can make that bigger because it's worth you guys seeing this. All right. So, here are the rules for radicals. Power is not only what you have, but what the enemy thinks you have. Never go outside the experience of your people. Whenever possible, go outside the experience of the enemy. And number 4, what did I just do there? Sorry. Number 4, make the enemy live up to its own book of rules. That book he's referring to is the Bible. By forcing the enemy, us, to live up to the book of rules, the Bible is what they're calling it. If I make you live under the premises that you supposedly believe, then you will cower to the power of the community. You will look or turn the cheek all the time because that's what you're supposedly supposed to do. You will absorb and understand you can't fight back. For you to fight back is wrong. Make the enemy live up to its own book of rules. Mike Johnson, we know, is a strong Christian man, which pretty much means he's probably a weak man. Because unless you're willing to get, and I love somebody posted this in the forum, a picture of Jesus, a video of Jesus throwing the money changers out and tipping over the tables. And you want to be at times Jesus in the temple angry, righteously angry. They choose to use it against you. And then if you look at number 5, which couples with number 4, ridicule is a man's most potent weapon. There is no defense. It is almost impossible to counterattack ridicule. And it also infuriates the opposition, who then reacts to your advantage. Make them live up to the rules that they believe in, and then laugh at them. Because at that point, they can't counteract being ridiculed. So if you've done something in your past, if you were, just not the most perfect person, and people can bring you out there and call you racist, homophobic, xenophobic, you know how they've been saying these things all along. Deplorable, garbage. Those are all from Alinsky's rules for radicals. Piss you off, infuriate you, take you off your game, but then tell you, hey, but you got to be Christian. You got to turn the other cheek. What they've been doing has been following a playbook that they put in place for a long, long time. Saul Alinsky didn't make it up. He just basically delineated it into a code. Go look that up. It's being used against you. And now if you sit back and watch the politics that has transpired over the last couple of years, you're like, wait a minute. Is that what they're doing? Yeah, maggots. Oh, deplorables. Garbage. You see it now? And I may be forgetting some of the stuff they've said about us. Calling Trump Adolf? Brown shirts? That's all designed to ridicule you. And to ridicule supporters. A lot of people can't take ridicule. Donald Trump is like, bring it on. Say what you want about me. I don't care. It doesn't have any effect on me. I know what I've done. I know what kind of man I am. What you have to say means nothing to me. These guys need to be invited to the cocktail parties up in D.C. They need to be liked. They can't take being ridiculed. Very few people in your surrounding are going to be people who will take being ridiculed. Have stuff made up about them. Put them on the front page. There are a lot of people who can't do what we do here on these cameras because they're fear of being attacked. I get emails all the time like, yeah, Robin, look what this idiot said. I don't care. But these people do. They have an image to uphold. And now they're being used to push this continuing resolution to protect bad people. See, that's the part I have a problem with. You're going along with this to protect bad people. There'd be no reason for you to even look to pass this. Nobody on the Republican side and some Democrats would have to look at this and go, so we're trying to circumvent the law. Is that what we're doing? We're actually lawmakers. The people have entrusted us to make laws for this country, and we're putting in place something to circumvent the very laws that we were sworn in to uphold. Let that sink in. You put your hand on the Bible, if you even mean it, and you raise your hand and say, I do declare blah, 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 blah. You take your oath, which is to uphold the laws of the United States. And you're putting something in place so the laws cannot apply to you. This thing gets passed, we've entered into a whole different area of government. This thing gets passed, it's beyond Trump. We're on a head first slide down. And if the Republicans go along with this, if they don't hear from you, if they just sit back and let this happen, we are done. We will never be able, this depending on how this thing gets extracted or gets renewed or whatever, but it would be very hard to go after bad politicians. Makes me sick. I'm looking at the live chat. I'm turning over here. Once in a while I look over. Beware of false prophets. Trump is waiting. Supreme Court can't do anything. No. Again, you're asking for people to basically take it before the Supreme Court. They just don't speak. Somebody has to bring it up. They'll pass it. Republicans are spineless. Let me do this. Let me talk to you about Lear Capital and come back and take some comments because you guys got a whole bunch of stuff to talk about. If you see what's going on in the world right now and what may happen here in America, you may want to prepare and pay attention. You know that Lear Capital is a big supporter of this show. If you want to be protected in the event that things go off the wall, I advise you to look into buying gold and silver. We are all just one catastrophic event away from the value of the American dollar plunging. Do you know what's not plunging? Gold and silver. I'm telling you now, make sure that you have some form of your money invested in precious metals. Lear Capital will ship your gold or your silver coins directly to your house. It's not just a certificate. You can store them in your gun safe, or you can store them off-site in a 24-hour protected facility. It's totally up to you. But when things go crazy here or across the world, the value of the American dollar is going to decline. It's inevitable, and it might not even take a war. We may do it to ourselves. And I mean, the Federal Reserve plays around with interest rates, the US dollar will likely decline in value as well. Meanwhile, you'll see gold and silver continue to rise in value. If you call Lear Capital, they will take the time to educate you and answer all of your questions about gold and silver. Just give them a call at 800-601-5430 or go to Learberry, that's me, Learberry.com to download your free de-dollarization report. You should know that Lear Capital is an American company. If you call them today, you'll be speaking with people right here in the United States. Now is the time to take action. Call 800-601-5430 or go to Learberry.com. And when you call, ask them how you can get up to $15,000 in bonus gold with a qualifying purchase. There's absolutely no obligation to buy anything. Just free information on protecting your hard-earned dollars with gold and silver. You know, when you think about it, you're actually not buying anything. You're simply going to be exchanging dollars for gold, moving currency. Give them a call today. Tell them Barry sent you.
Breaking news into the Fanfare news feed with Barry Cunningham.
Let me go back. Sorry, thanks, SV. This got posted a couple of minutes ago. I apologize with the dogs and everything that this stuff happens. All right, so just saw this. Elon Musk posted and says, your elected representatives have heard you. And now the terrible bill is dead. The voice of the people has triumphed. Vox Populi, Vox Dei. I think that's how you pronounce it. And then beyond that, it says no bill should be passed Congress until January 20th when Trump takes office. What was very interesting inside this post is what Benny said here. Today proves that X is the most powerful transparency and accountability weapon in the history of politics. I haven't seen any confirmation that it's dead, but I did see this. It says, breaking, Donald Trump says he's totally against the proposed spending bill. Now, Trump has spoken, so I've tried to look on Truth Social. I don't see. I guess maybe he called into Fox News. Hopefully that will kill it. Big news from Fox News. Lawrence Jones, President Trump says he's totally against the monstrous Omnibus CR bill. Elon Musk also opposes it and signaled that any Republican voting for it should lose their seat. X raising the alarm might really kill this bill. So I don't know if it's been pulled. I'm looking to see right now. I'm refreshing and to see if anyone has actually said if it's dead. I'm looking through my various sources. Don't see it as of right now that it's actually been pulled or dead, but it may be now that Trump is ready to say something. Looking for more. Don't have it. Looking Jack Posobiec. Don't see any of the usual suspects that have said as of right now this thing is dead. But the fact that Trump has now spoken means it's probably on life support. Says again, just seeing President Trump has come out totally against the massive bloated House spending bill. Trump wants to fight against the grotesque government overspending to start right now. He's supporting Vivek. This scoop came from Lawrence Jones, who is speaking directly with Trump on Fox News. So if I can find that later on, I'll cut it. Let me just making. I just see if I can. I'm just looking at another clause in here. It says that you can't call someone an offender anymore. They want to change that to justice-involved individual. So somebody woke wrote this thing as well. Here, this is what Benny just posted. The woke continuing resolution bill mentions changing the term offender to justice-involved individual. So they don't even want you calling somebody an offender. It's crazy. And so now there's another post here by Benny saying that he's heard Speaker Mike Johnson is considering replacing his massive waste field with a clean version. Why? Why did y'all wait and play this stupid game? Crazy. The king has spoken. Hit the 30 more days until they can bankrupt the country. Now you have to. You're right. The Bible never says no fighting back, so they try to turn it back on people. So you have to wonder at this point what exactly is going on. Don't stop until this thing is dead. I would continue pushing. I would continue contacting everybody. I would continue sending texts. I would do it all. I'm looking on Truth Social. I don't see the video yet of Trump on Fox News saying it's dead, so it's not up there. So let's continue. I want you to hear this. Let me take a few more comments because you guys, this is craziness. Can we say done to it? Thank you. I hope so. Letting you know what they're trying to do. Because the adult is about to come home. Like I said earlier, it was interesting to me that Trump didn't say anything. He just let it all play out. And then today, well, it looks like at about 4:15, he dropped the hammer. No, it ain't happening. So again, was this meant to sniff out rhinos? Just like putting up the different people for nomination, he's probably going to go with a recess appointment. Was this another ploy to sniff out the bad guys? Who didn't jump out right away and go, no, I'm not doing this? Were there people on the fence that were considering it? Because just to let you know, Trump's not in office. He doesn't get in office until January 20th. He can't stop this thing if these guys try to push it through. So now if Mike Johnson is indeed going to pull this back and come back with a clean one, was this all a plan all along to sniff certain people out? Because we just saw Mike Johnson at the Army-Navy game up in the booth with Vivek, J.D. Vance, Trump, RFK, and Elon. They had to have known this was in the works. Was this all some grand plan to sniff people out? If he pulls this, like he says, and he comes back with, here's the farmers' money, here's the hurricane money, and here's the military money, and that's it, if that's what he comes back with, then you're going to know it was a planned operation. There was a reason why Trump wasn't saying anything, and now he's like, nope, kill it. Will these people obey? Will they do what the next president wants? Or are they going to try and shield these people? Did they want to find out who wrote this thing? See, that's another thing, like what Charlie Kirk said. Charlie Kirk is going to have Trump at his event this week. Is there stuff behind the scenes like, who's writing this stuff? Who are these deep state plants who keep writing these things? I don't know. But I know if I was walking into a hornet's nest or walking into an ambush, I'd want to know who the enemies are. Who's back there that's causing these problems? Johnson said, hey, they all agreed on passing it. I don't know, man. This is crazy. We need people removal, not baby removal. Oh, man. We are definitely in an abusive relationship with our government. Trump is not fooled by Johnson. Did Mike Johnson end up putting his head on the chopping block? Did he just do something that's going to basically cause him to lose the speakership? Are they going to pull him out? I know that Steve Bannon wasn't pulling any punches.
Out there that contacts me and says, well, you can't say anything about Johnson, Steve, because President Trump, he said, no. Just like Vivek. Because Vivek's a smart guy. He just put this out. You heard Johnson right there. He's going to say, oh, they say I'm in an impossible position. I got 1/3 of 1/9 of 1/15 of 1/100th. I don't know what the hell they even mean by that. But stop it. It's like saying elections are about the future. Elections are about the here and now. It's called net present value. Bring it all back to now. Everybody tells you the election about the future. They're trying to sell you something because they don't want to make tough calls. Just like I got 1/3. Man up, dude. Show me something. Show me some Christian masculinity. How about that?
I love that term. Oh, there's a new term for us. Christian masculinity.
I want to read Vivek. Now, Vivek just dropped a bomb on him. So remember, I talked to Vivek at midnight, and they understand I'm in a tough position, and they're supportive, and they know that's a bald-faced lie. You must not negotiate deals. Hey, what they say the first time, he hadn't read the thing. He's just going through it. When you read it, you throw up in your mouth. Hell, we got working, and this is the thing they can understand. Will you please stop? I think this is what upsets everybody the most. Our audience is working class and middle class. I'll bet you 30 to 50% of the audience made high school degrees, probably not college degrees. They're plenty smart. My dad just had a high school degree. My grandfather didn't go to like third grade. They're the two smartest guys I ever met. Read newspapers and, journals and magazines and books. They were voracious readers. My mom, high school graduate, we think. They're plenty smart people. They were very smart. They're a lot smarter than these people up here, all these law degrees and fancy degrees. Vivek, let's put this up. If Grace would, I wanted to read the full 1,500-plus page bill and speak with key leaders before forming an opinion. Having done that, here's my view. It's full of excess spending, special interest giveaways, and pork barrel politics. If Congress...
So do you think that... I mean, I'd love to know what you think, because it's spreading right now. A lot of people are talking about it. Gunther Engelman says, F yeah, the bill is dead. So it must be close to, if not dead. So it must. I'm looking to see if anything from Mike Johnson himself, if he's pulled it, but I don't see any statement by Mike Johnson. This is some serious egg on the face crap, for sure. And the stock market react. The stock market is down today at 1,100 points, the longest losing streak since 1974. There's some crazy stuff going on right now. Absolutely crazy stuff. Looking at this from Colin Rugg, he said Speaker Johnson is now considering a plan B for his spending bill after receiving fierce backlash from Elon Musk, according to Politico. According to the outlet, Johnson is considering a clean CR and dealing with the other issues later on when Trump is in office. Duh! That would mean dropping disaster aid and $30 billion for farmers and a one-year extension of the Farm Bill, among other items, at least for now. Why? Musk previously said he would fight tooth and nail to make sure the government is using taxpayer money the right way. Why would you drop disaster aid? Drop all that other crap. I don't think we can count on Mike Johnson anymore. I think he's playing games, and he just got called out, and now he's worried about what's going to happen to him. You've got Victoria Spartz, which we're going to hear from. All kinds of different people are saying, no, this thing isn't going to happen, and when it's not going to happen, he's going to lose faith. And I believe you have to vote on a Speaker of House again in January. And should that happen, he's gone. Vivek just posted this. He says this cannot and will not pass. This is 14 minutes ago. That's 16 minutes ago. Doge is here, and this is his first test. He's referencing that Political article. We don't want dinos. Doge itself is real and badly needed, but conservative makes a great point. Doge is being celebrated and fawned over by a few people. So he's been tweeting a lot. Real-time advice to Congress. Go back to the drawing board, start with a blank slate, and do this the right way. So if Elon, the richest man in the world, is basically, and he's been beating the door down on these guys all day. I mean, he posted that. They want to spend your tax dollars on censoring you. And he's talking about how they still wanted to fund the Global Engagement Center, which gets a one-year extension. See, that was beyond January and March. They were going to get a one-year extension to basically continue to censor Americans. And Mike Johnson put that in the bill. Why? Unreal. Nancy Johnson. Yep, Elon posted that the bill is dead, but not hearing it for anybody else. Oh, I'd love to see Byron Donalds as Speaker of the House. Excuse me. How do you know that they did this to make the stock market drop? I don't know that they did it to make the stock market drop, but I know all of this bad talk and everything going on makes investors feel very leery. They pull back. I mean, by the way, buy the dip. I'm not a financial advisor, but buy the dip, because if it went down, it'll come back up. Marjorie Taylor Greene for Speaker of the House. I was reading this one. They were too quiet. I knew Trump was too quiet. So something happened. We're going to hear it probably after I get off this show. In between, I'll have to grab some more information. But there was pressure coming from everybody, and Mike Johnson should have known. He should have known that this was going to happen. So either he's stupid, incompetent, or both. Or this was a ploy. And I just keep going back to the fact that this guy was at UFC with Trump. He was at the Army-Navy game with Trump. And would he have been that stupid to push forth this 1,500-page bill, knowing it was against what Trump wanted? And Trump didn't say anything until 15, 20 minutes ago? Why would Trump have waited? I don't know. There's so much stuff happening right now. By the way, just to jump ahead with something, well, I'll wait till the end and we'll talk about this. I got something that's going to blow you away.
Wants to get serious about government efficiency, they should vote no, and the vote no is all in caps. So, Johnson, once again, you went on Fox and Friends in the morning and you're selling. For the kids at home and the homeschoolers, don't let's scratch that, okay? Pay attention to me. My mother would.
In case you're wondering, he swore and they had to bleep it out, and he's feeling bad about that. That's what he was talking about. I know how he feels. Yeah, exactly.
Would have dragged me in there, wash my mouth out with soap right now. And she would do it, trust me. And it would leave an impression. Keeping the government open, $300 billion. I mean, he's got it right here. If everybody can get this, and Grace, you can put it in the chat, Vivek kind of nails it. Congress has known about this deadline since they created it in late September. There's no reason why this couldn't have been done through standard process instead of being rushed to a vote right before Congress would want to go. And for course, the urgency is 100% manufactured and designed to avoid serious public debate. The gospel according to War Room. Vivek, I'm glad you put it so eloquently. Then he gets down to, we got Natalie Winter's reason she's not here this morning. She's going through this thing, and first thing she tells me is the pandemic preparedness and the Global Engagement Center. You heard those names before? Heard that from Mike Benz and Natalie and Darren Beatty. Heard those? Guess what, folks? Vivek's on it. The bill could easily have been under 20 pages.
See, this is what doesn't make any sense. He had to have seen a draft, and it had the Global Engagement Center with the censorship arm. He had to have seen the pandemic preparedness stuff. One of the things I haven't even showed you yet, it kept in the ability to mandate masks. All this stuff that there's no possible way Trump would want this. And then what I also understood, I got something from Tommy Tuberville, that the spending was $10 of Democrat spending for every $1 of Republican spending. So the Democrats were getting 10x the amount of money. Unflipping believable. Let me see if I can pull this up. Mike Lee, Senator Mike Lee. Why is the Republican House about to reauthorize a government censorship and propaganda operation? What are we even doing here? This made sense to nobody. So there were a lot of people in opposition, a lot of people who came out in front of this and said, I don't want to put my name on it. There's no way I want to vote for this thing. But he kept pushing it anyway. Doesn't make any sense.
There's dozens of unrelated policy items crammed in 1,500 pages. There's no legitimate reason for them to be voted on as a package deal by lame duck Congress. 72 pages worth of pandemic preparedness and response policy. Renewal of the much criticized Global Engagement Center, a key player in federal censorship. And he goes on and on and on. We're grateful. This is Vivek, and I quote, we're grateful for Doja's warm reception on Capitol Hill. Nearly everyone agrees we need a smaller and more streamlined federal government. But actions speak louder than words. This is an early test. The bill should fail.
Notice he said there, this is an early test. Was it a test? I have this tweet by Keith Self, who is a congressman from Texas. I have yet to speak with a single Republican member of Congress who provided any input on this bill. They don't care for our input. One of my Republican colleagues today even said, we're all just furniture. What? Wait a second. So they're about to do a continuing resolution that no Republicans had any input in, and Mike Johnson knew that no Republicans had any input in? I mean, you can read this yourself. I have yet to speak with a single Republican member of Congress who provided input on this bill. So this was drawn up just by the Democrats and said, here you go, sign it. This is what we need to vote on and pass. When I read this now, as I read this, I'm like, oh, this was a game. This had to have been a game. There's no way that they would have put out something and said, you guys have no input in it. We're going to spend 10x on Democrat and only 1x on Republican, and you don't get to put anything in this bill. Now go pass it. Doesn't make any sense to me. This came out earlier. House Republicans so far that have announced they will vote against it. And this was Nancy Mace, Wesley Hunt, and so on. It's at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18 people said they weren't going to vote against it. publicly. Where were the rest of the people? How come nobody else had said anything? I don't know. I can't tell you.
So and if Grace, you can put back, let's get this out everywhere, folks. Push this out. Vivek is 1,000% correct. So Elon put it out earlier. I think this thing should pass or should fail. And I put up hard pass. I was going to put up, and I just didn't at the last second, motion to vacate. I think we just got to go to that. I think we got to go to that. Like, tell him, hey, dude, don't even put your name up. It's not going to happen.
Was that the reason? See, when I heard Steve say that, and I've heard that bandied about, you have to wonder, was this Trump's idea, is to get him to put his neck out there so they can lop it off and bring in a new House Speaker? Don't know. But this guy ain't got it. He's not, as they say in the mob movies, he's not a wartime consigliere. He doesn't have it. He's too goody two-shoes. He's out. Got to get rid of him. Got to go. You're not ready to fight. You're not ready to roll up your sleeves and get your knuckles dirty right now. We need somebody in there who's ready to get bloody knuckles, who's ready to kick some butt around Congress, and he's not the guy. I'm tired of seeing us even get to this point. As I mentioned earlier, why are we getting to the need for having continuing resolutions? Why don't you stop and say no? Just shut it down. I bet you more people would be inclined to vote and get stuff done if they knew they weren't getting paid. Watch how fast some of these Congress people would show up and want to get something done if you told them, no, you're not getting paid. You're getting nothing until we get this figured out. Lock yourselves in Congress, put chains around the doors, except for put firemen outside in case something happens, and go get something done. At this point, our government's a joke. It's an absolute joke. And again, I keep telling you, this isn't going to fix in 4 years. Trump's got to put something in place that people can follow after he's gone.
This is an epic fail. And not just that, it's the way the process is handled. Like Vivek said, they should have been working on this thing months ago and been transparent. What galls me is the treating you like an idiot. We're back to the same thing. President Trump, you don't need this. This is not what you need. You need some people who are going to get into the trenches and fight. This is going to be a fight. It's going to be a fight for Doge. It's going to be a fight on the appropriations process.
Exactly. All these guys who want to go to cocktail parties, they're not the guys you want around you. This is the time when you need people who are ready to go to war. People who are ready to get in the dirt, into the swamp, and roll around in it. And not the cocktail party types. And most of the guys and women, when you see them lined up in Congress, you're like, they don't look like they're ready to go to war. I'm going to show you a video in a second here. It's coming up that's going to make you puke. Absolutely just piss you off.
It's going to be a fight across the board. It's just going to be a fight every day.
And I take it you've read it and will be able to read every page of it by Friday. This is insanity, Congressman.
It is insanity, but it's planned. Listen, this is all done by what I call the tarmac boys. When a head of state or a president flies in, the people out there on the tarmac don't look like me or you, brother. They don't look like us, because I never get invited out there. I doubt you ever will either. Listen, this thing is cooked up. They're tying in. Our farmers are hurting. They're tying something in there. They're tying $1 billion they're going to give this Biden administration to spend in the next 30 days on recovery from the hurricane. So you got Hawaii, you got North Carolina, Upper East Tennessee, just east of me. And they're going to trust this administration. This is a stealing fiasco, or fandango, whichever you want to call it. It is out of control. There's so much in there, so much garbage. They tie all this good stuff. Listen, single issue spending bills. That's what we got to have. They don't want that. They don't want to be held responsible. We have no guts. Either party, as we say in East Tennessee, and probably parts of Texas, we're crooked as a dog's leg. And the American public needs to wake up. They need to wake up and start lighting up their legislators. Shut it down if that's what it takes. And you're going to tie, and they're saying, oh, we're doing Trump a favor. We're taking the budget out of his hands till March. Hey, he wants the ball. Let's let him have it day one. We ought to pass something that goes into January 8th or something, and then let Trump clean house. And then you're going to see all these guys that are Doge. Oh, we're Doge. They're lying to you through their teeth. Marjorie Taylor Greene is going to have her hands full because she's got to deal with the administration, and she's got to deal with a bunch of lying congressmen that are going to tell her they're for her, and they will stab her in the back.
Look. Exactly. That's specifically what I was just saying a little while ago. These people will smile. I'm all about this. But they're not. They're about the swamp. Swamp gonna swamp. And all they care about is the next party and what they need to do to pad their pocketbooks. I got a video here for you. It's literally about, 45 seconds. And it's a New York Times video. It's going to piss off some of you, especially some of you who may be on fixed income, with these people whining about the fact that they have to live on just $175,000 a year. What could we possibly do?
The average income in my district is $55,000 a year. A congressman makes $174,000 a year.
If I go back to my district where the average salary in some places is $32,000, and I say I don't make enough when I make $174,000, they would go ballistic. I'd be out of office in a heartbeat. And yet, trying to maintain two places to live, have clothes in two places, have a car in two places.
Feeling sorry? I need clothes up there and where I come from, and I need a car up there and a car. You know how many people right now don't have any cars? Ever heard of Uber? And you want people to feel bad because you got to have a wardrobe in wherever you're from, and I need a wardrobe up in Washington. These people make me sick.
It's very difficult.
When I got to Congress, I realized, holy smokes, that comes out of my pocket without reimbursement.
And you're not allowed to write off any of the expenses.
I've had a roommate every time I've rented an apartment. Upwards of 100 Congress members actually sleep in their office because it's expensive.
Washington is expensive.
All of us ought to be.
You're making $174,000 a year. You're barely in office. You take vacations all over the place. And you had the nerve, the audacity to go on camera and tell Americans who are hurting that you can't live on $175,000 a year, that you need $240,000. There are people who are living on $1,500 and $1,800 a month. Somehow they're living. And you're telling them you can't live on $15,000 a month. I would be embarrassed to make that statement. You know, I make $15,000 a month, but I can't make ends meet. And maybe you shouldn't be in Congress. Maybe you shouldn't be a senator, because if you can't figure out how to do your home budget with $15,000 a month, maybe you should seek a different line of work. There are people I know in this chat right now who aren't making $15,000 a month, who probably also have kids and a spouse, and somehow they're finding a way to live. And you're whining on camera about, hey, I don't know what to do. You know, I got to live in Washington a couple of times. Are you kidding me? I bet you. I haven't been to Washington in some time. I bet you I could go up to Washington. I could probably find, I don't know, an apartment. Might not be in the best part of town. See, that might be a problem. You trying to drink champagne on a beer budget. But you could probably get an apartment for about $1,000, $1,500 a month. Might not be, you know, with the doorman and the swimming pool and, you know, the manicured stuff, but you get an apartment. And then it's probably not too far from where you need to go to work at the Capitol. You could take an Uber or a bus. There's buses. But no, you couldn't lower yourself to that, could you? You people are slime.
Concerned about the future in terms of who can afford to do this.
Do you want it to still be the House of the people, or do you want it to be only wealthy people? I think that
I need more money, otherwise you guys are just going to have to vote in wealthy people. I can't live on $175,000 a year.
it's important to have cost of living adjustments.
I think there needs to be at least an inflationary adjustment.
I think it should at least keep up with inflation.
It should probably go up with the cost of living.
Congress works better when you have a broad swath of the American people being able to run and get elected. I really believe that.
Today is like that.
I was like, I don't know how many of you have seen that before, but that should just make you just want to scream. Somebody telling you they can't live on $175,000 a year. What amounts to about 15 grand a month. Let's say after taxes 30%. Okay, so now you're having to live on I don't know, $12,000 a month. You can't make it. Is that what you're telling me? That you want to tell people in America whose businesses got closed during the pandemic thingy. You know, can't say the word. You want to tell these people who had to find a way to live that you can't make it on $175,000 a year. I'm looking over at the the chat here. People are like, tell me this is a joke. This plays like a joke. Yeah, it's like watching an onion. Nope, that was real. Those are real Congress people saying we need more money. I can't have my house here and also have this thing here. I didn't even look on Zillow, but I'm pretty sure, being in real estate, I know I could find an apartment somewhere in DC. Might not be the nicest area of town, but if you're hurting for money, maybe you need to look at the $1,500 apartment. You know what? You get one of these guys and split the money. Now you're only paying $750 a month each for this apartment, and then you take the bus. Yeah, how's that health plan? Yeah, you get whatever you want, all those perks. I would fall over if I got $175,000 a year. Oh, I heard they're voting themselves a pay raise, 40% more. Yep, $243,000. And so here's Nancy Mace talking about that insanity in terms of these people saying they can't live on that kind of money.
Movie Groundhog Day, same type of bill, a continuing resolution that doesn't actually cut spending. This is what DC does. They manufacture a crisis, so government shutdown, and manufacture this crisis to get as much stuff into this bill. They call it a Christmas tree bill because everybody gets something and then more, and you get stuck with the tab, and makes things so much less affordable for you, the American people.
But it looks like you shouldn't worry about, we got to make sure these people are paid well, and that, it's more important that they can live in cushy, guard-gated apartments or something than you, and you have to pay for it. Why not put in the continuing resolution that, congressional people shouldn't be able to, spend $5,000 a month on some guard-gated apartment outside of the Beltway and have limo service. What? I got to show you this thing. This was very interesting. And the reason why this is interesting to me, because I sent it to you a couple days ago, and I was wondering if Dementia Joe was going to stand up. So I don't know if this is true, but I found it interesting. Roger Stone posted this. It says, sources tell me Nancy Pelosi will remain in Europe after surgery on her hip until she can find a country with no extradition treaty that will take her. As Biden sends word, there will be no, big letters, preemptive pardon from him. So I was asking and mentioning that the other day. I was like, what if Biden has said, you people screwed me. And because you screwed me, guess what? I'm not doing any preemptive pardons. All the talk has been about preemptive pardons, but maybe he said, no, not going to do it. Maybe that's why they stuck that in the bill and said, okay, so if he doesn't do the pardons, then we need to stop the investigation. You see, you wouldn't need to do that if you were expecting a pardon. You realize that? If I knew I was getting so-called preemptive pardon from Joe, and I'm one of the congressmen, Adam Schiff, Swalwell, I'm one of these people. Schiff's now a senator, but if I was one of these people and I got a preemptive pardon, I wouldn't need that clause in the continuing resolution that says you can't, defy a subpoena. Go ahead, you can't touch me. You see, because I got a preemptive pardon. Stuff starting to make sense to you here? When I saw that, I'm like, wait a minute, there will be no preemptive pardon. Think about that. Think about if Biden has told these people, I'm not doing it. You're not getting one from me. What kind of panic may be running around out there in Washington? Is this why they had to throw this in this continuing resolution? Because they don't trust that Biden is going to come through with this pardon. See, if you're Swalwell or any of these people, Jamie Raskin, all these, Benny Thompson, if you're all these people who did all this stuff in January 6th and you don't get the pardon, the only other way you can stop the investigation is by not allowing it. But if you knew you were going to get the pardon and that you basically had that get out of jail free card, then you wouldn't put this in the continuing resolution. Make sense to you? Let that dwell. If you were a criminal or committed a crime in Congress and you got the pardon, then you would be fine. But if you didn't get the pardon, how else were you going to be protected? Oh, I need it stopped. They can't look at my emails. Okay, we'll put this in that continuing resolution. So there's a chess match going on in Washington, a huge one. I don't even know who the players are right now. We know Trump's one of them, but we don't know who the other players are. Is Mike Johnson on the good guys team or the bad guys team? I don't know, but you wouldn't put that in the document if you thought you were getting pardons. Did Trump, because he knows Roger Stone very well, does he already know Joe's not issuing pardons? Did they want to see what these people were going to do and try to protect them? Was it a document that they tried to sniff out? So now they know these people are scrambling. I don't know, but I want to show you this video. It just literally came out, and it's talking about the bill getting killed and how Elon basically killed it.
We're told right now in the past 30 or 40 minutes here that they might try to pull this interim spending bill off the floor and maybe just go with a clean bill. Unclear what that means for disaster assistance. Here's what happened. A post on X by Elon Musk sent shockwaves through the Capitol.
And by the way, this was in real time, so you can see it's at 4:06 Eastern. So this came up just about an hour ago, and you can see the stock market went 1,100 points down. So right now, investors are reacting to all this in real time. Stock market tanks, boom, goes right down. And they're saying now this is Elon's fault. I'll play this. I won't interrupt it.
House Republicans were trying to see if they have enough votes to pass the spending bill in the next hour or two. Musk posted that anyone who votes yes should lose their office in 2 years, and lawmakers are scrambling.
The tweets from Musk, has that complicated this?
Well, I mean, I think that there's always a lot of interest in what's happening up here, and
this is more than interest. They're telling people if they vote yes, they should be voted out.
The social media world is a part of our politics, and I think members have to expect that. There'll be a lot of hard votes in the next couple of years.
A member of the House Republican leadership told Fox that Musk is not helping. The lawmaker added that Musk has bigger fish to fry than picking a fight with House Republicans. One source said the bill is now bleeding support from the GOP. When asked how many Democrats the GOP needs to pass the bill, a senior aide replied, quote, a lot. Lawmakers who had hurricanes devastate their districts are torn.
The fact is that, look, this is a sandwich. I don't know how else to say that. We're being forced into this position. They could have done a standalone. They did this because they knew that it would put members in this position to support it. We're damned if we do. We're damned if we don't.
Now, the bill has about $100 billion in disaster relief, nearly $30 billion to restock FEMA's coffers, and there are lots of health care provisions. Jamming everything together in one bill means some Republicans will not support Mike Johnson for Speaker in January.
Have any other of your colleagues said that they're not voting for Johnson? Any express?
I've talked to a few, who don't seem like they're going to vote for him. You have to ask them. I'm not going to betray anybody's position.
Will you just vote president, or will you vote someone else's?
I'll vote for somebody else.
Now, Johnson can only lose one vote and still win the Speaker's race on January 3rd. Some Republicans ask how things are different with a spending bill like this under Johnson than former House Speaker Kevin McCarthy. The funding deadline is Friday night. Neil?
So I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that they wanted Johnson out, and this was a way to get him out. He could only lose one vote. He lost a whole bunch of people in the last 24 hours. Guess the meetings didn't work well with Trump. Guess the football game didn't work well, because it seems like he stuck his neck out there and they locked it off. So if he could only afford to lose one vote, and he just lost Massey, and he probably lost a bunch of other people, and now they want to blame it on Elon Musk, good luck with that. Good luck with that. I'm looking at different things here. The spending boondoggle is dead. Thanks to Elon Musk and X, we, the people, are back in charge. In just a few hours, we killed a bill which lobbyists spent months and tens of millions of dollars crafting. I'm so pumped for what we'll be able to accomplish in the future. Exactly. Get your butts over on X. Get into the conversation. There's nothing else like it. They can't take the pressure. And if it's something this big where Elon himself gets involved, they can't stop it. Ryan Fournier just posted this one. It says, all of us spoke out, and we spoke out loudly. We effectively killed support behind the continuing resolution, making it dead in the water. According to Fox, the real nail in the coffin was when Elon vowed to fund primary challenges for any member who voted in favor of it. We love X. That tells you so much. These people, you heard John Thune. Hey, social media. Yeah, it's not just social media. It's that people are talking to each other. Whatever happened, whatever was supposed to happen, however they tried to make it happen, I don't know how they thought it was just going to slide through and people weren't going to scream. That people like Benny and Patrick Bet-David and Tim Pool and Charlie Kirk and myself, that we weren't going to jump all over this and scream from the top of our lungs, what in the hell are you people doing? How did they not think that was going to happen? How do they not realize, after what they saw Trump do on November 5th by talking to Joe Rogan and Theo Vaughn and all these big podcasters and talking to Elon, and they saw how he destroyed Kamala Harris, what made these rhino Republicans think that they were going to get away with this? I have no idea. And for you to get in the fight, just want to let you know, if you want to get your feet wet, join our private X group. Go to fanfareshop.org/group, and we're up to over 12,000 people in our little private group and growing, 12,000 plus. Just go ahead and jump on in there. We would love to have you. Get in the game. Let's look at some comments here. Basically, any congressperson would become immune from any investigations. Yep. Absolutely. Power to the people. You guys are, we've been saying it. Elon's been saying it. You, me, we are the new media. CNN can't handle this. MSNBC can't handle it. They are announcers. You're going to have to get in the fight and do whatever you can from your part of the world. It doesn't matter if you've got 100,000 followers or 10. Get in there and start talking and sharing. Known for a long time that Mike Johnson is a rhino since Since he has been Speaker, he has caved into the Dems. This is not the first time. And maybe he got found out. Yeah, God bless. Just, can you imagine? Can you imagine if for some reason Elon didn't buy then Twitter and now X? I can't imagine. So I'm looking. Somebody said Trump just posted. I'm on Truth Social. I don't see anything. Let me see if he posted anything on Twitter/X. And nope, he hasn't posted anything there either. So no, Trump has not posted anything as of yet. But everybody else has. You know, it's interesting when you go on to X, and just to show you, like, regular people with, I mean, like this woman here, Patriot Nana Nikki, don't pass the bill, see our bill. She's got 5,600 followers. But you can see people here. Libs of Swift TikTok. Everyone's posting about it. Nick Sortor. And just keep posting. In Trump we trust. How big is this one? This guy only has 344 followers. Just get in there. Get in there and let everybody know, no, this ain't happening. I do not see anything from Trump on Truth Social or X as of yet. But as we've seen, a lot of times he does it at night. So tonight's show we may see something. Trump and Vance said hell no. Did Vance? I didn't check that. Did J.D. Vance post? Hold on, let me see if I got something from J.D. Vance. I would love to see if see if he posted anything. Okay, so here we go. We do have something by J.D. Vance. Let's take a look at that. 34 minutes ago, the new Vice President says, statement from President Donald Trump and Vice President-elect J.D. Vance. So this must have been a press release, so I'll have to check and see if Caroline Leavitt put something up. The most foolish and inept thing ever done by congressional Republicans was allowing our country to hit the debt ceiling in 2025. It was a mistake and is now something that must be addressed. Meanwhile, Congress is considering a spending bill that would give sweetheart provisions for government censors and for Liz Cheney. The bill would make it easier to hide the records of the corrupt January 6th committee, which accomplished nothing for the American people and hid security failures that happened that day. This bill would also give Congress a pay increase while many Americans are struggling this Christmas. Increasing the debt ceiling is not great, but we'd rather do it on Biden's watch. If Democrats won't cooperate on a debt ceiling raise, what makes anyone think that they would do it in June during our administration? Let's have this debate now, and we should pass a streamlined spending bill that doesn't give Chuck Schumer and the Democrats everything they want. Republicans want to support our farmers, pay for disaster relief, and set our country up for success in 2025. The only way to do that is with a temporary funding bill in big letters without the Democrat giveaways, combined with an increase in the debt ceiling. Anything else is a betrayal of our country. Republicans must get smart and tough. If Democrats threaten to shut down the government unless we give them everything they want, then call their bluff. Thank God. That's the talk we need. It is Schumer and Biden who are holding up aid to our farmers and disaster relief. The chaos would not be happening if we had a real president, and we will in 32 days. Man, the man threw down the gauntlet there. I mean, that says everything you need to know at this point, and you can see what was basically going on. Let me just check Caroline Leavitt and see if that came from her. Was it an actual press release? Caroline Leavitt, who is going to be the new press secretary, she just reposted what J.D. Vance posted. So wherever J.D. Vance got that, maybe they're together, I don't know. And then Lawrence Jones posted an hour ago, I spoke to President-elect Donald Trump, and he is totally against the proposed CR. So this thing it may not be officially announced, but it's dead. It's dead. It's gonna go bye-bye, and that was an op of some sort. what we just watched and how it transpired in the matter of basically 24 hours, we just watched something happen that I don't think we're all going to know until the speaker vote coming in January. But somebody got set up. Not sure I know who right now, but somebody obviously got set up. Thank you, Patriots, for stomping this bill into the dirt. 32 days is a lot for Joe Biden, a lot to screw the country with. They got too used to with that amount, or they got too much debt. One or the other. The day is going fast, but not fast enough. You are so right. You know, after the election, I said, you know what, Robin, it's going to slow down. We're going to be okay. And then things started happening, and that's when I decided I was going to do these daily briefings. And other than maybe like one Sunday here or a Sunday there, it's been news every single day. I mean, lots of news. There's so much. And I think it's going to continue. We may see a lull here during the holidays, you know, probably from after Christmas to like the first of the year. And then right after the first of the year, it's going to be bang, bang, bang all over again. Yeah, it might have been Speaker Johnson who got that one. What about the stadium? F that stadium. I can't. That might have been the biggest insult. The other one was criminal in terms of not letting people see their emails. But telling me we got to pay for the Washington Commanders Stadium? Come on, man. That was just a slap in our face. Plus, they suck. I could see if it was like they were going to host a Super Bowl in Washington this year or something. But you're telling me you wanted the American people to fund a new stadium for a football team. Wow. Shut down the government. Absolutely no raises. Yep, done with it. It's always busy with Trump. He never stops. So go pay for my football stadium. Do the other 30 owners get free stadiums and stuff, or just the ones in Washington? And you want to make the taxpayers pay. Oh, and the bridge that got blown up by a boat, you want us to pay for that, but then you're going to collect the tolls on it, but we don't get the money back. That goes to the state of Maryland. Yeah, okay. I'm more right now. They said President Trump and J.D. Vance put out the tweet. Yep, just read it. All right, so let me just tell you what's going on tonight. Tonight at 7:30, I'm going to check and see if there's any news on Trump. Maybe have a couple of Barry, they want me to do 3 or 4 shows a day. I do have a wife and 2 doggies, and they're growling outside the door because they're hungry. But tonight we're at 7:30. We're gonna whatever quick news updates I can do, and then at 8 o'clock. I know some of you don't want to tune in. I'm not telling you to tune in. It's not an infomercial, but there was so many questions about the Bitcoin. I thought that tonight would be a good time. Joe McGee is going to come on. He's going to be here at 8. I'm going live at 7:30. We'll bring him on at 8. And I'm just going to sit back and let you guys ask him anything you want about Bitcoin. I'm just going to click the button and say, here's a question from Fred, here's a question from Sylvia, and I'm just going to, you guys can just ask him away all the questions you want. I did a poll yesterday and did a poll on X and YouTube, and it looked at about 65 to 70% of you wanted to hear more information about just learning about Bitcoin. You hear the dogs out there? It's getting close to dinner time, and they're both out there. Rah, 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 rah. Some of you guys haven't seen Lily. Let me bring Lily on because I can make her stop. But go ahead, and if you want to win a hoodie, go ahead and do that. I'm putting that picture up so I can grab her. Come here. Okay. Where is she? Come here, Lily. Come here. Yeah, so go there if you want to win a hoodie. And we'll draw some hoodies tonight. Let me go ahead and switch back to the camera. This is the little one. She's the new one on the block here, and she's an absolute terror. Lily, say hi to everybody. Say hi. 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 She's a 3-pound Maltese, and she's an absolute terror at the minus. Robin's not home, so they're out there growling, waiting for dinner. and she's just a bundle of love. She likes chewing on my beard. You want to say hi? Look in the camera. That's me. All right, so let me, like I said, go to fanfareshop.org and enter to win a trophy. Somebody said when I said about spanking a dog, you really think? Let me just ask you. You really think I'm spanking this mop head? I'm not a mop head. I'm not a mop head. I'm your little baby. And we think she'd be acting like this if Daddy spanked her? He doesn't spank me. He just feeds me. All right. Let me do. I might have to put her down and they'll start fighting. Let me go ahead and take the super chats here. I'm gonna have to type with one hand. Let's do this. You ready, Lily? All right. So let's go. All right. From Jesse Kemp says, I live in Texas. The chief of police in White Settlement, Texas, had drone sightings in military formation. Ranchers talk about shooting him down. Wow. Oh, Britta Evans, thank you very much. Please put these towards the Bibles. Yes, Ashley will do that. She's been getting them out. Little Dove, hi Barry, request a Bible. Didn't get one. Love your channel. Thanks for all you do. Do me a favor, if you didn't get one, go ahead and email Ashley. If one of the mods can put up the email address, and that way Little Dove can, if you just did it in chat, there's probably likely she didn't see it, so you have to send her an email saying that you want to get a Bible. Hold on. Dave Infinger, thank you very much. Chill, you must chill. Cassandra from Paquin Fine Arts, the opposite of a clean bill is a dirty bill. That says it all. Thanks for the news without the hype, Barry. We appreciate you. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. Lily appreciates you. Hold on. Let's see what. Oh, stop. Don't chew my shirt. Nicholas Lamonicus, thank you, Barry. I'm on Social Security, and we will get maybe $40 of a COLA. They get 70 grand. Yeah, so he was talking about a cost of living increase of $40, and they're getting 70 grand. They need to invest to rebuild the bridge. It's insulting. It's insulting what your government and how they're treating people. Absolutely insulting. This is from, who's this? Cassandra again. How many seniors haven't had a cost of living in ages and are living on less than poverty level? What about low-ranked military men and women? Yeah, $175,000. And then we can't live on that much money. I mean, I'm going to need a raise or something because I just can't possibly live on $174,000. And let me talk to Viking King. How you doing? Viking King, we the people will not be unheard or ignored anymore. X has spoken. Absolutely. And please get in the game. The Democrats don't know how to deal with this. That's one of the biggest things about it. They do not know how to deal with this. D-Lad, I don't got a car. I can do a whole lot of walking, though. These guys are punks. Yeah. Imagine how much walking you do with $175,000. Cupcakes. They're all cupcakes. Just another knucklehead. These people are enriching themselves with millions of dollars while up there. Here you go. Not about the money, beaches. They're stealing from us. They don't even think twice about it. Rex says he gets $10,000 a year on Social Security. And Lisa says she gets $930 a month from Social Security. And these people are crying that they can't live on $175. It's absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Many of you saying the same thing. $800, $1,200. JD from SC, same old game. Pass the bill so we can see what's in it. Can't work anymore. You shouldn't even be in Congress if you're not competent or if you're too lazy to even read a bill. There's something wrong with that. Gail Stein, where is that? Barry, can't Trump do an executive order to reverse this bill? It wouldn't cover that because it's already been spent. I mean, it ain't like that money's going to sit there and the different things they're going to do. They'd have to pass laws. Texas Trigger Cat. Republicans win a battle but typically lose the war because Dems fight like Muhammad Ali while Republicans fight like whiny little girls. Agreed. I called them the what do you call it? Washington Generals yesterday, and it's so true. Hold on. Just chill. We're almost done. Get you fed. All right, here. Barb says, why does the elected president have to wait so long to take office? This is crazy. I think that's one of the things that they should change too. If you win an election, you shouldn't have to wait 3 or 4 months. But it's in the Constitution, so that would take an amendment, and they're not going to do that. G-Mark, Barry, you're awesome. Please consider starting a MAGA dating site for strong Christian men and women so desperately needed. You know, somebody should. That might be a good idea. Yeah, that's pretty awesome that you're thinking that way. That's thinking out of the box. Leaders, anyone going for that bill should lose much more than their office. I agree. Just another knucklehead. Thank you. This is stressful. Hard to understand why they would even present it. Good question. See if they can get away with it. See how many people that they get to buy it. Larry the Scrapper guy says, good job getting the word out. Thank you. Are you going to be good? You want to get down? Huh? All right. No fighting. You guys stay quiet over here. I'm almost done and I can feed you. Just chill. Tommy Radcliffe, forgive me, but these people are pieces of S. Yeah. I mean, that's saying it lightly. All right, so now one of them, hey, shut up. One of them laid down. Now the other one wants to get picked up. So now it's time for the Mexican, and he's mean. I'm not mean. I'm just big boned. I'd love a $70,000 pay increase. Yeah, really. 40% right off the top. Let me see where we go here. Almost done, doggies. Jeremy Hughes just talked to Tara at AR Congressman Crawford's office, was told that the shell is a continuation of 3 FOIA languages from past. Yeah, really. Dakin Sinclair, love the info, Barry, just reminding nothing can stop what is coming. Obviously, what we saw today, and think about it, in 24 hours, this stuff usually would go on and on and on, and then they would go to the last minute, and it got blown up, absolutely blown up in 24 hours. No NDAs for Congress. Yep, I agree with that. Let's see here. Don't take the bait. Thank you very much. Let me make sure I'm clicking the right buttons here. Let me keep going real quick here. Kathleen Gray, what can we do? Pray, and pray some more. I completely believe that. Brian Newland, can Trump write an executive order on 121.25 to cancel this? I'm not really sure you can do a continuing resolution to be overridden. Anyone who would own a Maltese like I have and Barry could never hit one. You just saw her, just jazzing a little pup, love Maltese, and have 4. Wow, they're so cute. They're just bundles of love. Even this one here. I mean, he's a pain in my butt sometimes because they don't get along fully. But you know, he's such a good dog. Such a good dog. Sometimes he barks when I'm there, but he's getting jealous. Big Cat, yeah, Barry, forget they promised no omnibus. Yep, he did. KRO, thank you very much. It's all smoke and mirrors. Somebody got smoked, that's for sure. Might have been Mike Johnson. Eric West, whatever happened to being kind and respectful to each other, whatever happened to compromise. That's what that's the political environment we're in right now. Mike Johnson should be removed from office by a vote of no confidence and replaced. Do not pass this bill. I think he's dead in the water. I'm pretty sure. You want to get down now too? Hold on. Yep. Judy Tryon says Cloward Piven. You guys don't know what Cloward Piven. You might want to take a look at that too. That's another big Democrat BS thing. Hold on. You go lay down. No fighting. Just chill. Barry, my husband and I just moved within Florida. Is there a way to find out who our district reps are? Do you know how? Sure. Just go out to your county website, and if you go to your county website, it will tell you everything about what district. If you're in South Florida, just hit me up with an email. I can help you out with that. Demon of Cybertron. Everyone here start planning to primary these rhinos next round of elections, and I mean it. And just so you know, not just at that level, all the way down. I mean, all the way down to dog catcher. We got to get these people out. Just get them completely out. That's the only way any of this stuff is ever going to work. If we don't get rid of them, they're going to be pain in our butt even after he's gone. Mary Boston, thanks, Barry. Happy the bill is failing. I can't wait to see it actually done. Let's see here. I live in Texas. Jesse says, I live in Texas. The chief of police in White Settlement, Texas, had drone sightings. Oh, this was earlier. I saw that. Somebody goes, eat poop. If you can't survive on $15,000 a month, I'm living out of my car right now. Oh, sorry to hear that, bro. Sorry to hear about that. That's awful. Absolutely awful. All right, so at 7:30 tonight, I'm gonna go with a little bit of news at the beginning, see if Trump nominates anybody or if he has any more statements that he makes, and then at 8 o'clock, Joe McGee will be here, and he'll be talking about Bitcoin and take all your questions. It's funny now. I think we've already seen it, but Trump did just post it as well on Truth Social, the same statement we just read. So he's not playing around, and I'm loving it that he's not playing around. He posted the same thing. This would not be happening if we had a real president. We will in 32 days. Yep. All right, everybody. Thank you very much. I'm sorry about the dogs. I've had to take care of them while Robin's not here. But they're being good. They're being quiet, so it's okay. And no, I would never hit that little 3-pound bundle of a mop top that she is. All right, see you at 7:30. Hope you join us. Joe's agreed to just keep answering your questions. So just get your questions ready. So at 7:30 or so, we're going to do some news, and then 8 o'clock he's going to come in. Oh, tomorrow before I go. Here's what I have planned for tomorrow. I want to make sure I can do it and everything. So, Turning Point USA has America Fest. That starts tomorrow. It's the 19th, the 20th, the 21st, and the 22nd. 19th, 20, 20, yeah, 4 days. So tomorrow's Thursday. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Just a complete cavalcade of speakers. I'm going to try and broadcast as much as possible of that I can. I'm going to go live as normal 3 o'clock tomorrow, but instead of me doing stuff in terms of doing all day, I'm going to take the speakers one at a time. And then as they come, I have to go in between so they don't play any music, and I'll have any news updates. But I'm going to probably go from 3 o'clock straight through to maybe 8:30, 9 o'clock. So it's going to be a marathon. Love for you guys to come on in. Bunch of speakers. I mean, a ton of speakers every single day. So we're going to go 3 o'clock to about 8 o'clock every day, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And I believe Donald Trump brings down the curtain on Sunday night. So he'll be speaking as well. All right. So I'll see you guys at 7:30. Look away if you have any kind of seizure problems.